I'm Jennifer Archuleta, the host of Unfiltered, where the truth hurts, but it also heals. This is a space for anyone willing to get honest with themselves, because in the end, it's you versus you. You've seen her on Baywatch, and not once but twice on Celebrity Apprentice. Brande Roderick has lived a big life in the public eye, but she's also quietly built something more. She wrote, produced, and starred in her own film, Wineville. She's a proud boy mom, a businesswoman, and someone who's learned how to take control of her story on her terms. This episode isn't just about the fame. This is beyond the bombshell. Unfiltered with Jen Archuleta. So, we were talking about Baywatch. So you kind of fell upon Baywatch by accident. So tell me about it. I love Baywatch. I've watched it, since Pam was on it, and then you were on it. So it was pretty cool.
Well, I ended up going and auditioning for a different TV show. It was a volleyball show, which I don't even think that ever got made. But the casting directors were the same casting directors as Baywatch, and they were casting for Baywatch and said, Brande, you need to come meet the producers. You'd be perfect for Baywatch. And so they brought me in to meet the producers, gave me a cold audition. So I just got it right then and there and had to look at it and did a quick audition because they were already doing their test shoot like the next day or 2 days later or something like that.
Wow.
So I read and they're like, yeah, you're great. We love you. Can you come and do the test shoot? So I went and did the test shoot. It was with, it wasn't with Jason Momoa. It was with Jason Brooks. He was the lead actor at the time. So I read with him, did the test shoot. Then we had to go out to the pool and do an underwater, swimming scene to make sure I know how to swim, how I look underwater, like that as well. But anyway, so did all that, and I was freaking manifesting, visualizing, doing everything for like weeks. I was like, I want this job so bad because at the time, I was at the Playboy Mansion, and when you're in that world, as you know, it's like you're going out all the time, you're partying all the time. It was just a lot, like nightclubs, and I'm just like, I need to get out of here. And Baywatch was going to be shooting in Hawaii. So it was something I really wanted. So did all that, really visualized it, manifested, do all the things. And it had been weeks and I was just so like stressed out because I wasn't getting the phone call. And then I went to the Beverly Center and I remember I was checking out, I was buying something, and on the thing was this little rock and it said patience. So I bought the rock that said patience. It's like, okay, I put it in my pocket, and I was leaving the Beverly Center and I get a call from my agent and he said, Brande, you got it. You are on Baywatch. You're moving to freaking Hawaii. I literally dropped to my knees in the parking lot and I was like, oh, thank you. Because I wanted it so bad. And yeah, that's how it all started and how I got the gig. It was just by accident, by chance.
But did you ever take any acting classes or things like that?
Oh,
did you want to be an actress?
Yeah, ever since I started drama classes in junior high and then high school. Then I minored in college, my minor was theater. And then I moved to LA when I was 23. And as soon as I got to LA, I started taking acting classes. It's like, because acting's like, it's like when you work out, it's like a muscle. You have to constantly be working out that muscle.
So you had to know how to swim, you had to know how to act, and you had to go in a yellow or red bathing suit. That's what you needed.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Hawaii? How long did you live there? And what was that like?
I
love it. Were you bored?
I was there for like, God, what was it? I don't know, 8 months. And I loved it. It was like the best job I ever had. And it was just a dream. It was a dream. I mean, it really was, being able to work there. Yeah.
Which island was it?
I was on Oahu.
Oh, okay, so it's bigger.
Yeah, so it was fun. So, our little tight-knit little cast, we all became family because it was just us right on this little island. Jason Momoa, Jason Brooks, Michael Bergen, Stacy Kamano, Alicia Richter. We just became this little family, and we'd go out to nightclubs on the weekends and just hang out all the time and just had the best time. It was such a good time to be there in Hawaii too.
Because it's like a mini Los Angeles. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
got the nightlife, but then it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
were you like always like stopped and recognized there? Because it's not that big of a place.
Yeah, there it was because, that we were shooting there and everyone in Hawaii, they were all excited that, Baywatch was
Yeah.
shooting. But the thing that was really cool when we'd get recognized was every time we'd fly home, we'd fly Hawaiian Airlines, and they would always bump us up to first class. So that was like we didn't even have to like buy first class tickets because they would just automatically bump us up. It was just
I love that.
yeah, that was a cool thing about Hawaiian Airlines when we were there.
And that's not a short flight, so that's a nice perk.
Yes, for sure.
Did you connect with anybody that you didn't think you would, or like, do you still talk to anybody from the cast?
I'm still friends with everybody. And, two of my best friends, Alicia Richter, now Piazza, which I think you've met Alicia before.
Yes, I have.
And then Stacy Kamano, they were two of my best friends. And met them because of Baywatch. Yeah.
Were there any scary moments that you remember, or anything that caught you off guard that you're like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, you have to
Yeah.
do stuff in the ocean, but a lot of it I know is done in pools
Yeah.
and things like that.
Well, there was something that did happen that was a scary situation. During one of the scenes, it was at night and it was shot in the lagoon at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. It was out there with my love interest in the water, like kissing and whatever. And they needed to get that shot that night. And we always had water safety guys, but there were
Mhm.
a lot of them. They were all surrounding us while we're shooting. And, they wanted to get this shot, whatever. And then when it's all done and they got it, they rush us out of the water. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, well, you were surrounded by sharks.
Oh my gosh.
They had the water safety guys with all the spear guns out there. And I'm like, you guys made us stay out there with freaking sharks so you could get your shot. Thank God they didn't tell me at the time because I would have been like, no freaking way. Um,
Wow.
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
And so what did you do to stay in shape? Because I mean, you still look great. So like, what are you doing now? What did you do then? Did you have time? I feel like when you're traveling and sometimes when you're working, like that's like an afterthought, unfortunately, and you eat bad because you're on the road and things like that.
I didn't work out at all.
Everybody's
I
gonna hate to
was
hear that.
Well, I was in my 20s and I freaking ate like a cow. I ate like, we had craft service. So it was like anything we wanted all day, any day. And then plus living at the hotel, I would go home at night, eat a pizza every night, eat my chocolate peanut butter ice cream. It was insane. But I was in my 20s. I didn't work out. But now I work out every day. I'm not in my 20s anymore. And it's funny because I feel like, as you get older, that's when you care and when you actually start, taking care
Mhm.
of yourself, at least for me anyway. But I walk, every day, 7 days a week, I either walk or run. So, usually it's 3 days a week. And I say run, but really it's a slow jog.
Yeah.
And then walk. And I only do 3 miles. That's it, just 3 miles every day. And then I do 20 minutes 5 days a week of some sort of workout,
Mhm.
Pilates, dumbbells, whatever. I literally go on YouTube and I just put in 20-minute full body workout, 20-minute Pilates, 20-minute upper body workout. I just, whatever comes up and I do that and I just do that 5 days a week. So yeah, now I actually am doing something physical.
If only we did it in our 20s, like
Yeah.
7 days a week, we'd be in a good place. I feel like I'm in the same space. I don't have time to go to a gym. I don't have the desire to. I do what I can,
Yeah.
and it's working. It's working.
Yeah.
It's just a
Good.
little bit, and it makes changes, and that's all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, no, you definitely, I at least, like I said, get out and walk every day. And just being out in nature, I
Hmm.
think it's good for, just your mind, your soul, all that stuff. So,
Now,
Yeah.
after you did Baywatch, did people like put you in like a stereotype where a lot of times when you wanted other options in the acting world, they just put you in a box, or were you able to venture out? I know that, you did a lot of things, but I mean, you're
Yeah.
pretty blonde and sometimes it's hard to get away from that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't feel like I felt like the roles that were offered were pretty appropriate. So I mean, like Starsky and Hutch, for example. I mean, it's the cheerleader, right? That's fitting.
Mhm.
Scarlett Johansson at the time when excuse me, the Nanny Diaries with Scarlett Johansson. That was a role I played, a showgirl wife to an older guy. So that fit the description. So I mean, I feel like everything that came my way, it was, it was fitting for me. And there were a lot of fun roles that I really enjoyed playing.
Is there one you enjoyed more than, I mean, we know that you loved Baywatch, of course,
Yeah.
but is there one movie that you did that you were just like, I'm so glad I did it? I
Well,
loved it. It was fun.
the two I just mentioned for sure, hands down, like working with Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, that was just such a fun experience because it was, the scene they ended up using was an improv scene. So the whole, we did it all scripted the way it was written, but then Todd Phillips, the director, he went to Ben and Owen and just said, just do, go ahead and improv, but don't tell her you're going to do it. So they didn't
Yeah.
tell me. So they started asking me all these questions, which is why I was kind of put off guard by some of their questions, and they end up using that one because it was just all natural. So
I'm gonna have to rewatch it. Sometimes those are the
yeah,
best when it's just natural and it's not,
totally.
yeah.
You'll see because they asked me my weight, my sign, my,
Oh my gosh.
all these things, and yeah, it was funny.
And there's a
So
lot of downtime, so I'm sure you thought they were just making conversation and things like
yeah,
that. So that's funny. So
yeah.
The Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice, you did it twice. Why did you do it twice?
The first time was just, regular Celebrity Apprentice. I had an amazing experience. It was great. It was really hard though. We worked 15 to 18-hour days.
Oh wow.
And then they brought back their favorites for the All-Stars. So I was just so happy they brought me back, and I was excited because it was going to be, another fun group of people that, a lot of them I haven't met before, and we just had a lot of fun. And I would do it again. I mean, if they did another All Stars, I would do it because I'm very competitive. I love competition. And so it was a lot of fun.
Who ended up winning the first one and then the All-Star? I can't
Um,
remember.
Joan Rivers won the
Yeah.
first one. And then the other one was Trace Atkins. I'm pretty sure it was Trace
Okay.
Atkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Was there anybody you like really clicked with?
The first one, I pretty much was side by side with Annie Duke the whole time, and she was a pro poker player.
Oh yeah.
She probably still is. I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a while. But yeah, so Annie Duke and pretty much everyone. I still keep in contact with a lot of them. And Dennis Rodman and I have the same agent, so we've known each other forever. Um, but yeah, it was fun. And then, oddly enough, I actually keep in contact with Omarosa.
Aw, I remember her. I
Yeah,
was a big fan of her on the
yeah.
show. I thought she
Mhm.
really came across really well.
Yeah, yeah, she's a cutthroat girl. She goes after it.
She'll eat you up.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me about Wineville. Tell me like how, so you're the director and the writer and you act in it. So tell me how this came about. It seems like I mean this was hard. This is like took a while to come out. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened?
So kind of the idea started, I was doing a film during COVID, shooting a film called Twisted Vines,
Mhm.
with Vivica Fox and Michael Pare. And it was kind of COVID time. There weren't any movies really being made because you had to go through all these hoops to even get a movie made because of COVID, and people were all really paranoid about it.
Mhm.
Um, and so I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna freaking make a movie or be in a movie, I got to make it myself. I'm not the type to just sit around. My kids are now older where I can actually get out there and do stuff like this. I'd been in the business for what, 25 years, actually 27 years. Um,
Wow.
so I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm, ready to put something together, and I know enough people where I can call upon people and ask questions. So it kind of started that way. I asked a producer friend of mine, a couple of them, what's the easiest genre to sell?
Mhm.
Because I'm a businesswoman, and they all said horror at the time. I chose to do a horror film. And my friend who owns the oldest winery in Southern California, Galliano, said that I could shoot my movie there. And it's like really, it was built in like the early 1900s. So it's got all the old creepy barns. And even though the winery is actually really beautiful, it has all the old elements to make a great horror film. So went there, knew that I wanted to do a story with myself and my kid, my real life kid, Keaton, and create a story that, a mom would do anything to protect her son, right? Because for me, that would be, it's an easy one to act.
Mhm.
Um, and so the writer and I got together and we just went back and forth and came up with this really sick and twisted, crazy story. After looking at the location as well, because we looked at the different locations and how we can incorporate a story into that, and put together this crazy movie. And after about a year and a half, maybe a year, maybe about a year of pre-production of putting everything together, we finally went and shot the movie. So
So
yeah.
your son is in it, and is he an
Yeah.
actor as well, or was he just, he fit the part and you put him in, or how did that work?
He was acting when he was younger and doing things, and he and I did another movie together called Ace and the Christmas Miracle about a talking horse.
Mm-hmm.
So he had already done a movie with me prior, so that's so it was easy for me to just want to put him in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he's no longer acting. He doesn't want to. He's only all about football, so he's done acting now.
And how old are they now, your two sons?
Now they are 14 and 15.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, so what was harder, writing, producing? You've directed too, and then you acted. So
Yeah.
what was the hardest part for you? What did you find most challenging?
Um, Doing everything all together at one time. Um, because when you wear so many hats, I'd be on set and I would have to put out a million fires, right? And then also go and try and be in a scene and then run and talk to this person, run and talk to that person, and deal with, someone spraying spray paint in their eyes and having to go
Oh
to
my God.
emergency, and all the crazy things that go along with it. So doing everything was tough. Like I don't know how Bradley Cooper does it and all these people that do everything, but I guess they probably have a lot of money and a big team.
Yeah.
Um, but still, that being said, even though it was so hard, the job from start to finish has been very, very difficult at times. I loved every second of it because it was just, I mean, from first day on set, just like, it just felt so good. It felt like, oh my God, this is amazing. It was just such a great feeling. There were not even any nerves. Like it was just excitement. I was so excited. I loved it all. And even when challenges came up, I liked trying to find solutions and getting resolution and, making things better. So, um, but I love it all. I love it all, definitely.
So how many hours a day were you putting in? Because I know movie, you can be on
Yeah,
a movie set for 20 some hours. So did you feel
yeah,
like you were just pouring your heart and your just everything
absolutely. I
into
mean,
this?
they were for sure like 16 to 18-hour days, even though we were only shooting for 12-hour days.
Mhm.
But you're there before, you're there after. So they were definitely long days, six days a week. So yeah, it was long.
And how long did it take you to make this
It
movie?
was a short, well, the
Was it?
shooting was only 2 weeks. We
Oh,
got
wow.
that done in 2 weeks, which was really difficult to do, but we did it.
Mhm.
Um, but the whole process from start to finish, from pre-production to actually it being on, Apple or Amazon, was close to 3 years. So
So
it,
we can rent this now.
yeah, yeah, you can
And you
watch
can
it
download it. I should have done
anywhere.
that beforehand. I didn't know it
I
was out
know.
yet. See, I'm
Yeah.
learning something as
Yeah.
we go through this. What were you like, Brandy, growing up? Everybody wants to know. Were you a girly girl? Were you the cheerleader? Were you the swimmer? Were
No,
you like the nerd? We would love to hear that you were like the nerd.
no, well, I'm a nerd at heart. I still am a nerd. But no, I was a tomboy. That was what I was through and through. And I there were times when I would be girly, but I really liked getting dirty. I liked catching pollywogs in the creek. I liked catching frogs. I played softball. I did cheerlead for Pop Warner because my brother was a Pop Warner a football player.
How do you feel about when you were in Hollywood and what it's like now? And
Mhm.
like, what does that look like to you now? And like, how do you feel about that?
I'm just so glad I was there doing it when I was doing it because, late 90s, early 2000s, it was a magical time because it was
Was.
like real Hollywood, old school, like at, the Playboy Mansion where all the celebrities could go. And you didn't have to worry about camera phones, social
Yeah.
media, paparazzi, none of that stuff. Everyone could just go and be themselves and have a great time. Now you can't do any of that. Like,
Mm-mm.
if you think about even, thank God they didn't have all that stuff when I was around going out. I wouldn't want, to be coming out of a nightclub or being in a nightclub and somebody videotaping, look
Yeah.
at Brande Roderick doing shots of tequila or whatever it might have been. Um, that would have been awful. So I feel so blessed that I was there at a time where you can actually have fun and not have to worry about all that crap. And then, you actually had to
Earn
audition
your fame.
hard and earn your fame and actually, work hard to get what you had instead of just, going on and doing a dance on a TikTok or whatever it is
And
now.
going viral. I mean, it was
Yeah.
hard to get on yachts. It was hard to get on private planes. It was
Yeah.
hard to get in the tabloid magazines. It was hard.
Yes,
It was a
exactly.
struggle.
It was.
What about dating and like how did you feel about like dating and all of that stuff in Hollywood at the time? Did you find that it was easy? I always found, I don't know, like I tried to find normal guys and I tried to be
Yeah.
a normal girl and then I just thought we would have a normal life, but it was hard.
Yeah.
So like
It
how
was,
was that
yeah.
for you? And I know it's like you're in a different place in your life now. Can we talk a little bit about your relationship? Because I know everybody inquiring
Yeah.
minds want to know that's going to age. But
Um, for me, dating was fun. I loved it. I had a great time. Um, yeah, I had a lot of fun because I mean, when I was there at the height of my career, I was Playmate of the Year and on the #1 watch show in the world, Baywatch, at the same time. So,
wow.
for me, dating, it was just fun. The opportunities were there and, that was great. However, when it was time to settle down and get serious, you don't want to do that in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood is just fun for dating. It's not for, finding, a full-time forever person. Um, but anyway, yeah, so that was fun. But then when I met my son's father, it was in LA, but he was from, San Diego. So we ended up, of course, moving to San Diego.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then how long were you guys together?
Um, 13 years, I
And
think.
he was an NFL football player.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he played in
Was
the
he
NFL.
still playing when you were dating him? Was he
No,
still playing or
he
he was retired?
literally just retired. So he played in the NFL for 11 years, won 2 Super Bowls, and then retired, I think, in 2003, and we met in 2004.
That's
So,
always hard when you meet them right out of retirement.
well, I guess it could go both ways, right? So I almost
Yeah.
feel like glad that I met him after
Yes.
instead of being, in it. But I could see how it would go, both ways. But yeah, he didn't go through too much of the crazy stuff most athletes go through when they retire. I don't think it was that bad, but yeah.
But you're still off the market now,
Yes,
right?
I have been dating someone for 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
not dating.
Yeah, no, it's dating because, I've already been married twice, so I don't want to, get married again.
But you guys are going to have a sweet ceremony.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll probably at some point do like a commitment ceremony or something like that. I just don't want to do anything legally, but yeah.
I never heard of that. I think that's so sweet.
Yeah. Yes. That way, because I my kids were like, well, mom, why don't you guys just get married? I go, do you want to share this house with somebody else if I die? Like, don't you and your brother just want to split everything and not have to share anything? They're like, oh yeah, 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 good idea, mom.
Commitment ceremony it is.
Yeah.
um, who is Brandi? Who are you when nobody's watching? Like, who
Yeah.
are you? Like, do you have your hair up in a bun? Are you in sweats? Are you all dolled up all the time?
I am a dork. I'm definitely a dork at heart, definitely a nerd. I, oh my gosh. Okay, so I listen to Disney princess music.
You do?
I do stuff like I make my kids watch The Greatest Showman, which they love it anyway.
Uh-huh.
And every time a song comes on, we all have to get up and dance. And then when
That's
the song's
cool.
over, we all sit down and watch the movie and then get up and dance. So I do weird, dorky things like that. On the weekends, I blast Bob Seger radio and dance around the house and make breakfast. And so there's that side of me. And then there's also the boring side where I just love watching a movie, eating popcorn, eating chocolate peanut butter ice cream, and having a glass of wine. I love that. And it's so boring, but I love movies so much. But yeah, that's yeah. But no, normally I don't like put on makeup unless I have something that I have to do.
Yeah, same. And we were made up for so many years. I feel like, and I never wore makeup. And then somebody started doing my makeup, and I'm like, whoa, like I don't look the same when I do my own makeup.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could have someone else do my makeup all the time instead of having to do my makeup.
You could start a business. I mean, they just pop in and pop out.
Well, I already have that business. It's called
Do
Ring My
they?
Bell.
What is
Yes,
it called?
Ring My Bell. So Ring My Bell is like an Uber or a DoorDash for hair and makeup and spray tanning and IVs. You just call, it's like uh
It's
yeah,
like
like
Pink
you just go.
Dot back in the day. Remember Pink Dot?
Oh, of course. I used to use it all the time. But no, you just go on and book your appointment, and a hairdresser or makeup artist shows up at your house.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. You
I
have
guess I
it
have to
where you
talk to
live.
you more.
Ring my bell. You better, yeah, call them. They'll come and do your hair and makeup.
If your life were a book, what would the title be right now? Wineville?
I guess you did it, Mama.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the title.
I feel like
Um,
you took the pen out of Hollywood's hands and you rewrote your whole story just after talking to you. I mean, I used to see you back in the day, and I mean, even to us, we are like, oh my gosh, Brandy's here, you know?
yeah.
And I just love that you're doing it all on your own. And it makes, I don't know why, but life is getting easier. I don't know if it's the connections we have or what it
Yeah.
is. But life just seems so damn easy. It was so hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're just when you're young, I mean, you're trying to get there, right? You're
Yeah.
trying to get to the point, right? You're wanting this and wanting that. And now I'm finally at a point in my life where, I mean, everything's content. Like I'm just so happy. I'm living in my dream house. I have my dream children. I have, all my career. I've done everything I would have ever wanted to do in my career. And I just feel so content and happy that now it's just focusing. My main goal is raising two gentlemen and watching them grow. That's where I find joy. Is like my main goal is just finding joy and doing things that make me happy. So it's a
We
great.
all need your little patient rock to keep
Yes.
in our pocket, right? Just patience. That's what it's
Yes.
all about. Just waiting.
Yeah.
Is one of the boys more protective than the other?
Uh, yeah. So they're both like good. Like the older one is more protective. Like if anyone says anything about me, like, with kids, with the Playboy or, oh, your mom's hot or anything like that, he gets like pissed off. Okay. But the little one is more protective in the sense that he will protect me. Like when we go camping, I stayed back, at the lake, just hanging out, and he rode all the way back and stood there and waited and
Aw.
watched until I was coming back, and then rode bikes back with me. Like he'll like he protected me from a dog once. So, he's definitely like the protector like that. But the older one is more like defensive about mom, what people say. So, yeah.
So yeah, because I've kind of dealt with a little bit of the same things. Like, how do you handle that? I mean, for some kids,
Yeah.
what we did, it's like, wow, that's so cool. And for others, it's shame. So
Exactly.
so
That
how did
I'm
you
still
navigate
dealing
that?
with it. I'm still navigating it, like I said, because my older one is now starting high school, and kids, it's not really bullied's not the right word, but would say stuff to him about me, and he would get really upset. So I'm still dealing with that. Whereas my younger one is like, it's cool. Oh my God, who cares? Like they're like, yeah, they'll laugh. Like, yeah, my mom is hot. That one's like, whatever. But the older one is very religious. So he's very, so he doesn't like it at all. So it's hard. You just try to tell them, it's like, this is, something that your mom, did in her past. And, I tell them like, I'm proud of it. Like, you should be proud of your mom. You should be proud of it because, I'm one in 60 women in the world, there's only 60 Playmate of the Years. So I try to, make him feel better, like letting him know all these things and, of course, all the movies and whatnot. But every kid's different and they're going to process it in their own way. So it's tough. You just have to take it day by day.
And you probably would have never met their dad, and then they wouldn't be here. I mean, I try to go down that road too, like,
Yeah. Oh,
this is the path I
exactly.
took, and it all leads you
Right.
to different places.
For sure.
Always
100.
not, it's not always the most traveled path, but
Yeah.
1 in
Yeah.
60, yeah, that's amazing. And I think there's only 500 playmates.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
think,
and you think about Marilyn Monroe, like,
yeah.
all the people that did it. I mean,
Oh,
they, it's
so
amazing.
many. Yeah.
Historical icon,
Yeah.
iconic.
Absolutely. I mean, all the celebrities that, that have been in there. Sharon Stone and Drew Barrymore and the Latoya Jackson and
Cindy
like
Crawford.
yeah, Cindy Crawford. I mean, just so many.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, these are some fun questions that I'm going to ask you. So we already talked about your perfect night at home.
Hmm.
Are you an early bird or night owl?
100% early bird.
What
I
time do you get up?
well, it depends on what's going on in my life, but I would say an average 6 a.m. Uh, 6 a.m. is my average because I have a whole routine in the morning. Yeah.
So, what's like something that grounds you and the boys, something you guys do together that like maybe
Well,
normal families do? Like, what would you?
yeah. Well, I try to instill like my practices on them.
Yeah, those are good
And
practices.
when they were little, I would, before we went to school, we'd go in the room and light a candle and do like, and just meditate for like 5 minutes. But I've made them all like their affirmation mirrored lists. So on their wall has all their affirmations. So they do that every day. Well, they're supposed to anyway. I hope they're doing it. Um, but I just try to do that. And then what I also do is when we have time, now football started again, so there's not much time, but when we do have time, I like to share documentaries with them. So I'm always
Mhm.
picking different documentaries for them to watch. And the new one that I'm gonna watch is Arnold. So when they come home, we're gonna watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary. And just things that are like about being positive and
Mhm.
doing stuff, working hard to get what you want. And so yeah, so that's something that we do. Of course, now they're older and they're a little like, what are we watching now? Like they're all bored and but then they end up loving it.
They'll talk about it when
Yeah.
they'll probably do it with their kids.
Yeah, I hope so. And then we're a family like when I have the kids, because of course I share custody with their dad. I am a dinner on the table at 5:30. Always, I'll cook and make dinner. And then when they're not with me, it's pizza, mac and cheese.
And then you're walking for 10 miles instead of 3.
Yeah, yeah.
What's always in your fridge? What's always in your fridge? Like if I opened up your fridge,
Uh,
it's in there all the time. Can't go without it.
Always eggs because the boys now they're growing. They need their protein. My oldest is always making eggs. Milk and eggs. They always have milk and eggs. That's something that they always have to have in there. My Suja, for me, my Suja immunity shots.
I like those.
I have those. I have my iron because I have to have iron because I'm anemic.
Same.
That's always in there. Um, but yeah, my kombucha is always in there. Um, yeah, that's something.
Okay. Last time you laughed so hard you cried.
Oh,
Maybe it was something you watched or something somebody said, anything.
oh, you know what? I was with my family. My nephew just got married in Texas, and we were there like a few weeks ago. And I just laughed so hard that entire trip. I don't remember anything specific. I can't remember the exact specifics, but because I was with my whole family, we all stayed in a house together in Airbnb and everybody was there. We just were laughing the whole time, just had so much fun. So being around family, it was fun.
Your most comfortable, safe place.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Do you believe in love at first sight? Like, how did you and Glenn meet?
Um, we met because he saw me, he watched The Surreal Life. I was on the first ever Surreal Life, actually the first ever celebrity reality show I was on, which was The Surreal Life.
I
And he
forgot
saw
about
me
that one.
on
That
there.
was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. So he saw me on there drinking wine out of a red Solo cup and said, "That's the girl I'm going to marry." And his friend was producing a horror film. And so he ended up co-producing the film with his friend and called up my agent to have me come in and read for the movie. And I went in and read, and that was for Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. And I was leaving, and he runs up to me and says, "Hey, I have a sports show on the radio. Would you come on and be a guest and talk about your team? Because I'm a 49er fan." And I said, "Yeah, of course." And it kind of all started there. So I got the job and I got the guy.
Wow.
So that it was on the casting couch. We met on the casting couch basically. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You do this horror convention. I was supposed to do it one time with you. It fell through. I don't remember. What
Yeah.
country is that in? And what is that like? What do you think about that? I mean, like, what
The
do your fans mean to you? Everybody always says what a lovely person you are. And you're always so kind and gracious. And in New York, we
yeah.
worked a little bit together. Like,
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about that horror convention because I haven't done it yet. And
Yeah.
your fans.
It was probably, was it Chiller? Was it the one in
Yes.
Jersey? Yeah. So that one's my favorite because that's the one I've been going to the longest. I've been going to that convention for 20 years. Um, maybe 21 years.
Where
But
is that at? I forget.
it's in Parsippany, New Jersey. But I love it. I love going to the conventions. I love my fans. I love seeing them. Have the most loyal, wonderful fans. I hear people that, tell these horror stories about people that go on their social media and say all this bad stuff. And, I just have the best fan. They're just great people. I love them. I adore them. I've built the fan base, from 1998, when we started, what was it? Remember the Playboy Expo?
GlamourCon.
Glamour cons, and then the
Yes.
expo, where the Playboy Expo was like the very first one, and there was the glamour cons. So I started building the fan base from a million years ago. It's like I'm a dinosaur now. But no, but I love it. I love catching up, and a lot
You're
of
a pretty dinosaur.
oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's fun. I love them.
What would you say? I mean, like, so Playboy was a positive in your life, not a negative, right? You
Yes,
would
absolutely.
absolutely say, hands down, it was a
Hands
positive.
down, 100%. And so it's sad to me when you hear stories that people say otherwise because I don't understand it. I don't understand, how people have a bad experience, but obviously everybody has their own experience. But for me, it was the best time of my life. I did things that I never would have been able to do had it not been for Playboy. Traveling the world, right? In first class, going on yachts and red carpets at the Cannes Film Festival and, the private bunny plane flying across the country. Just so many wonderful, crazy, exciting experiences.
And not discounting anybody's experiences, but the reality of it is I feel like it's what you put out there is what you're going to receive. I didn't
Mhm.
receive any bad stuff either. So to
Right,
me, it's like
right,
mind blowing when I hear these stories or people say, these things. It's like, no, that wasn't my experience at all. And I know everybody has their experience, but
right.
it's always good to, and also it's something we've done and it's something I'm
Yeah.
proud of too. And
Mhm.
I hate when people talk down about it because then
Yeah.
you're talking bad about something you chose to do, right?
Yes, I know. And it's tough. It is a tough thing. And I know I've said before, and it's harsh. And I don't know if I should say it, but no one was holding a gun to your head, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of my feeling on it.
There was a line out the door. I don't know if you remember.
Oh,
You could
what?
leave at any time. Somebody was waiting to take their place,
Right. Right.
right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody sees this picture perfect life. You're beautiful. You've always been a light in a room. Every time I've seen you, you're just so gracious and beautiful and classy. Is there anything you want to share with somebody? Everybody sees like this, and then they see your Instagram life. Is there anybody you could just share with somebody? Because this is what Unfiltered's about. It's about sharing
Yeah.
something that like people are like, wow, like I can't believe that happened, or I'm just like that, or something that would really hit home with people to give you like the human side of Brandy.
Um, well, I I filter everything. Okay, let me start by that. Let's
I
start by
love
that.
it. I've
Um,
seen you in person recently in New York. There's no filters. You look amazing.
Very sweet of you. Thank you. Um, but no, on my social media, and this is what I'll say, everybody freaking filters stuff. So anyone that goes on there, like if you're feeling insecure, don't be looking at all these girls' sites and thinking, oh my God, they're so beautiful. I don't look like that, blah, blah, blah. They don't look like that. The freaking pictures are freaking filtered. So I just want people to, it is all smoke and mirrors, and um, you're perfect just the way you are, and don't worry about, what you're seeing. And when you're seeing someone and you're looking at their life, let's say, and like, oh, their life is so exciting. They're going here, they're going there, blah, blah, blah. It must be so exciting. That person is only posting the best of their life, their one vacation they took a year or two vacations. It's just all that's all you're seeing because you're just scrolling through different, whatever, and you're seeing only the best of everybody.
Yeah.
So, don't try not to get caught up in that. And I know that some people do, and I wish people wouldn't scroll on social media. I know they're going to, but I would only follow and scroll on things that are going to uplift you and make you feel better about yourself. Don't get caught up in thinking everybody's life is better. But so I would say that for sure. But what were we saying? What was it? What was
Well,
the actual
it's just
question?
kind of like when we were growing up, you would see a beautiful girl on a magazine, and we
Mhm.
didn't know that they airbrushed them until later on. Glamour
Yeah,
would come out and say, "Oh my gosh, these girls are so airbrushed," and things like that. And I think it's in a world now where it's just in your face so much,
yeah,
and they're like your neighbor, and you're like, "Wow,
yeah.
they look great." Then you see them
Oh,
taking out the garbage, they don't look so hot.
exactly. I mean, that's the way it is now, And the thing that, but it is hard because once you're in the limelight, you have to carry on that persona. Because for me, I'm still trying to get acting gigs. I'm still trying to get jobs, right? Whether it's hosting, acting, modeling, whatever the type of gig might be. And if I present myself in a shitty light, I'm not going to get those gigs. And everybody is putting themselves in such a good light that, if you don't, they're going to be like, oh, what happened to Brandy? She looks tired. You know what I mean? Because everybody else
Exactly.
is doing it. So you have to do it. So that is, it's not the most fun thing to always have to,
Critique
keep it
yourself.
up because it's freaking tough, right? You have to keep it up. Um, but
But at
yeah,
least you're keeping up at your age and you're not 20. filtering yourself. That's what's sad. That
Oh,
should be your prime. That should be
yeah.
your day to shine.
I
You know
know, but
that.
the problem is everybody is doing it. So you have to like almost, you have to keep up because if you look a certain way and everybody else is looking a certain, it's tough. It's tough. It's not fair, but it is the reality we live in nowadays.
Yeah. And I think, being in the light we were in, it's
Mhm.
harder as we get older as women. And
Yeah,
it's
because
yeah.
people see you, remember you and think of you as that person in your 20s back in the day. And so if
Mhm.
they see you now, it's like, whoa, that person's doubled in age. Like, what's going on? Like, we're always trying to kind of keep up with our image that people fell in love with us at, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what they remember. And then if they see us now, we're trying to keep up with that.
Note
Yeah.
to self, don't do anything until you're like 50. And then you're good.
Yeah.
Then people will
Right.
judge you.
Right, but then when you're 70, you're really trying to keep stuff up. Oh my God.
That's true. Okay, so if you can give us a quick synopsis about Wineville, just
Well,
tell us what it's about, why you love it, and why we should love it.
yeah. Well, Wineville is based in 1978, and it was kind of like it gives you that Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe because it's also a serial killer family. My character Tess, at 15 years old, ran away from home. She ran away from her family vineyard winery, moved to Vegas. Then she gets a call so many years later that her dad passed away, and she now has to go back to the family vineyard and take care of everything. And now her son, she's bringing back her son, her 11-year-old son. So when she gets back, she finds that things have just gotten sicker and festered and worse. And now not only does she have to try and escape herself, but now she has to try to save her son. So, will they come out alive? We don't know. You'll have to watch it.
Hey, I'm gonna watch it. So, Brandy, who played your younger you in the film? Who played
Oh,
Brandy
this
or
younger,
Tessa?
yeah, Tess. She was
Tess.
so great. Her name's Seneca Paleota. I hope I didn't butcher her last name, but she's so lovely, such a great little actress.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yes. Yes. Well, you can watch it on Apple or Amazon or Tubi or DirecTV, all the things. So you can rent it anywhere now.
Well, thanks for joining me, and best of luck. I'm gonna download this now, and I can't wait to watch it. Is it? And can my boys watch it, or is it
No,
PG, or what is it?
no, no, don't watch it with any of your kids. Even your 17-year-old, don't watch it.
Yeah.
And when
Okay.
you watch it, you'll know why.
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
I don't wanna, yeah, watch it with the kids. Yeah.
Well, good luck to you,
Oh,
and I hope to see you soon. And
I
thanks again for
know.
joining me. Thanks for listening to Unfiltered. And remember, the truth hurts, but it also heals. If this episode moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And now it's time for the pup of the podcast.